Hi, this is Michael from Nonstop, and in this video, I'll show you how to use the Learn Japanese Pod app that you can get from Play Store. But before we do, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on my latest videos. So as you can see, I have opened my Google Play Store and I have searched Learn Japanese Pod app, and you will have this. So before we open this up, let's take a look at the pictures in here. So this will be the interface. As you can see, it has a dialogues that you can use it to communicate. There you can even listen to the pronunciation, read the Japanese words, and so on. Alright, let's go ahead and install it now. And while waiting for it to complete, I just want to let you know that this application lets you download and listen to episodes of the Learn Japanese podcast. Learn Japanese Pod is a podcast that teaches you how to speak fluent, natural Japanese with lots of fun dialogues and conversations about life and culture in Japan. It is hosted by Alex and Amy, who teach you everything you need to know to speak and understand really authentic and natural Japanese that is actually spoken on the street of Japan. So what are the main features available with this app? So with this app you can listen and learn from our free audio Japanese lessons, stream or download lessons to listen to later, get access to full text of Japanese dialogues featured in the podcast, read detailed show notes explaining the grammar and vocabulary from podcast. The app is regularly updated with new episodes for you to get fresh content to study Japanese with. Contact the app creator, robot ninjas, to report problems, and so on. Alright, it's done. Let's go ahead and open it. Alright, so here it is. So as you can see, this is the home page, and you'll have this list of podcasts. So podcast 38 is the latest one. You can choose which topic you want to listen and study. Like for this one, Ask Us Everything, or Interview with Andy, describing people's appearance in Japanese. So let's try this one. So if you notice, you have the option to add it to your favorites or bookmark it to your favorites. You can even download it for later use. So it's going to take about 117.74 megabytes. And then this one is where you can listen to the pronunciation or to the conversation, so that you'll be able to practice. So there. So in this podcast, Amy and Alex teach you some useful phrases to describe people's appearance in Japanese. Listen to the example dialogue to hear how this is done in natural and fluent Japanese. So now it's downloading, so it's going to take for a while, but once it's done, you'll be able to hear it. You can listen to the examples. So this one is where you can pause the video and then play it back. This one is if you want to mute it. This one is where you can start from beginning, and this one is move forward. This one here is going to download the file. So dialogues, there, the content, so there, that's the dialogue. So these are the Japanese dialogues. So you will be able to listen to this conversation. And then the translation, there. So it's going to be like this. Ni watashi no kazuku no shashin miru. Miru miru. Kore wa oji-chan. 背が高いんだよね。本当。スマートでかっこいいね。そうだこだ。And so on. So the translation, or the English translation, is going to look like this. Hey, do you want to see photos of my family? Yes, this is my grandpa. He's tall, isn't he? That's true. He's tall and good looking. That's right, but on the other hand, my grandma looks like me and she's short. So that's the English translation. So the podcast is all about describing people's appearance. So notes, there, you can download the notes. These are the PDF shows notes for podcast 36. And also you can scroll down to look for the podcast that you want to use, like for this one, talking about your trip to Japan. So in this podcast, Am and Alex teach you how to have a conversation with your friends about the past trip to Japan. So let's take a look at the dialogue. Alright, here it is. So this is the main dialogue. It's written in Japanese, hiragana, katakana, and then the romaji. So, 日本の旅行はどうだった？超楽しかったよ。何をしたの？東京と京都で観光してきた。食べ物はどうだった？寿司は美味しかったけど高かった。いや、そうじゃなくてメニューが読めなかったんだよ。食べたいものに指差してこれくださいよ。いい。そう言わん。いいじゃん。そうだね。覚えとこう。And then the main dialogue, which is written in English. So the translation is going to look like this. How was your trip to Japan? It was so fun. What did you do? I did some sightseeing in Tokyo and Kyoto. How was the food? The sushi was delicious, but it was too expensive. No, not that. I couldn't read the menu, you know. Just point out to the food you want and say this piece. Right, I'll remember that. And then here, so you can listen to the podcast to be able to understand and practice the pronunciation. So you just have to download the podcast so that you can later use it for offline. So there's really a lot to learn. So settings, let's go to settings to check. So in settings, we can change the theme to light there. I prefer the dark. And then manage download is where you can see all of your download files. So it's going to save on this directory there. So I have downloaded one. You can delete it all if you want to. And also you can also connect it with your social media account like Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So this application is really easy to use and very helpful to anyone who's going to travel to Japan to visit some relatives, or if you want to go touring in Japan. This application is really helpful for you. So this one here is where you can also, beside this home text, beside the home, you can see this filter. So the filter is where you can filter your homepage. So show lessons, show fun, Friday, show favorites. So you can enable or disable some of it like that. So only lessons, and there you go. So now only lessons will be available. So that's how you use this application, and I highly recommend that you have this on your phone. So that's it for this video, and I hope that you have learned something for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.